Hello everyone, Man of Interest here, and it's time for This Week in Keyboards. It's another week full of a lot of keyboard news, but before we get to that, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this episode, Kono.store, where you can check out the SA Grand and SA Arcane group buys going on right now. If you hadn't had a chance to try out SA, these are some of the best sets you can get today. They're pretty nice looking. Maybe this is a new rebirth of SA sets. SA has always found popularity for many in the community. If you want to join in on the hype, these are two good sets to consider. You can check them out on Kono.store or through the links in the description below. Now let's get to the news this week because we have quite a bit of news. So I want to make sure that we have a good flow going on. Which brings us to our first topic. GMK Flow by Rafa M. Not sure what the background inspiration behind this set is, but I guess we don't need to know. The set features WS1 for the alphas and 2 custom colors. Not sure how I feel about this set. It reminds me of something, although I don't really know what. Maybe more cheerful GMK waves? The renders look pretty nice, and overall the theme reminds me of a Triumph Adler plus green. I don't think this set looks too bad overall, but it's, at least based on these renders, not for me. Up next by Roboticle is the interest check for the Knight 75, which is a 75% keyboard with a slight design tweak. That being the staggered F-row and 2 extra nav cluster style keys in the top right. With the addition of the arrow blocker separator, I think this keyboard looks pretty decent. The case has this thickness to its appearance I think a lot of people will be really attracted to. The weight of the case is approximately 5.5 pounds and will not have a mid-seam. It will support MX and ALP switches, feature a USB-C port, and have a top-mounted plate. We just don't know the pricing just yet, but we do have a timeline which features not only the group buy launching in June, but the group buy run Roboticle getting married as well. So congratulations on that. We look forward to the group buy and the great news from you. Moving on to our next topic, it brings us to GMK Scitex by Amir. Now that GMK 9s has met MOQ, Amir has started the path towards his next GMK set, and here it is. Using the GMK colors N9, CP, and N5, we get this white on dark gray going on with some blue accents. Inspired by the G80-1824 HAU Scitex board, the renders look pretty nice, pretty clean, and the base set seems just fine. The base set will have the F1 through F8 keys as the blue legends for those rocking on a 75% or larger. For those of you that want that same blue stripe accent up top on a smaller form factor, you can check out the Accents kit, which features your standard enter and escape accents, arrow accents, but the 1 through 8 blue legend accents for that number row stripe as well. Great for a 60%. If anything's missing, I'd say it'd be great to add the non-accented F1 through F8 for those who want a very basic touch. The next GMK set we're going to talk about today is GMK Mochi by Anonymous. Using the GMK stock colors of 3A, R01, L9, and N9, the set is supposed to resemble matcha-flavored mochi with red bean paste filling. That's not really what I'm getting from this set though. If anything, it feels like an alternative version of Jukebox. Maybe that green needs to be a different shade to capture mochi differently. I do like the idea of having a dash of red to act as the red bean paste. Hopefully we'll get some better renders and more details soon. Our next interest check is kind of a joke, albeit an interesting one. A little while back I covered a single key macro pad that was designed to feature an ISO enter. Now Phoenix Star wants to bring that same idea to ANSI, ANSI enter keys with the ANSI 9, inspired by and made with permission from Upas of Canon Keys. It's exactly as it appears. For around $45, we'll be getting the case, plates, bottom, rubber screws, rubber feet, or screws, feet, and PCB. It looks like it'll be available in a plethora of colors, and I guess if you have an extra accented or non-accented enters from any of your key sets, you could find a use for it if you have a free USB port that you want to dedicate it to it as well. Moving on, our next topic brings us to the interest check for GMK Night Runner by Blind Assassin 111. Featuring a dark blue, black, and a neon yellow, this set definitely has some loud legends. I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of how bright these legends might turn out. Like, I mean, I have JTK Yolsh and GMK Red Samurai, but those aren't super bright yellows. Serica has pretty bold yellow, but it still feels very well balanced. I'm not getting that balanced vibe with this set. I do like the icons used. Using all icons is a great option, and I hope they expand that idea to the bottom row. All the colors are custom colors, which will be bringing up the MOQ, and I wonder what novelties a set like this would have. A safety vest, I think, would go pretty nicely along with that kind of yellow. So as of writing this next topic, the product hasn't launched yet, but it does have the details of it's launching in April, by the end of April, so if there are any details that update by now, yay. Ramaworks TKL, aka the U80-A, as an early look, we see that it's going to be available with a new plate mounting and dampening solution, the Ramaworks Mute. The Mute isolates the plate with rubber bumpers that go through the middle, through the plate onto the top sides, and the whole bottom is going to be a large dampening plate, aside from a few areas. I think this is going to yield a very thudded typing sound, and I think it's going to be very interesting. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to this keyboard, myself included, so interested to see this plate. I wonder if there'll also be a non-dampened version. Probably. Hopefully we'll get more details of the Mute and the whole keyboard as well. But I actually like the Mute plate idea, and I hope it is expanded into a half plate option. While we still have Ramaworks in our minds, let's take a look at their new Foundry. What is the Foundry? It's a small collective of select designers whose designs will be manufactured and fulfilled through Ramaworks. It sounds like this will be a better version of Type Machina. This honestly, it sounds great because I think a lot of engineers and a lot of designers, can benefit greatly through collaboration with Ramaworks on their projects. So based on the site, it looks like the collaborators will be able to take advantage of production guidance, the Rama supply chain, meaning their distribution, and renders. The first product launched from the Foundry will be Wilba's thermal keyboard, which I discussed on the show the other week, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm curious to see what other designers will be working with Ramaworks for putting their products through the Foundry as well. Very curious to see how this evolves. I think we might be seeing a lot of really cool products out of the Foundry coming soon. Moving on, we have an interest check by Hong Heng Dai Lo for GMK Oregon. Although the name might change, the set is influenced by the University of Oregon and the State of Oregon colorway where the OP graduated from. The OP is so kind to provide this mood board of the colors, and the influences can be seen. I'm not going to lie though, I think this is overboard with the yellow. In my personal opinion, I think it's a bit much and needs a full redesign. Like having a more neutral alpha color with green legends and then having maybe yellow modifiers if you want to go, some green with some heavy yellow on the sides. But man, maybe this is how it's supposed to be. I've never been to Oregon and I can't relate, so that could be the case as well. Something that was a shut and closed case just last week was an interest check that started, and then the group buy just happened, and it already sold out and ended. Of course, I'm talking about the TGR Jane V2 version CE by Yutzi. On Wednesday, he unveiled the interest check, which featured a new revision of the Jane V2. It features an additional key placed between the F12 and print screen, a carbon fiber plate to replace the steel one on the bottom, an option for a matte or multicolor coating steel rear weight, and a slightly repositioned internal weight. These are some great additions and options for such a popular keyboard. And this is probably one of Yutzi's most popular boards ran to date, because on Saturday, hundreds of people were refreshing the page, refreshing their Google Forms, and trying to refresh their life in preparation to be one of the first 100 people to submit the form in. If you want to know how difficult it was, you had to have submitted your form in the first 2 seconds after it opened in order to secure one of the 100 spots for this $550 keyboard. Just like that, in 2 seconds, all the spots were filled up. Yutzi said there will be a possibility for another round after this one is finished, so keep your eyes out if you missed out and you're looking for an amazing keyboard from an amazing designer. Ooh, so many boards so quickly. That's crazy. And as of writing this, it's probably already been launched as of writing it, but not or as you guys are viewing it, but not me of writing it, GMK Mizu is running over on Dixie Mac, which is a cool blue set I've talked about recently, but I think a lot of people will dig. I don't really have many information other than these pictures, so here you go. It's a thing that's available, probably priced reasonably. Speaking of things that are cool, is our next topic, the Polaris by AIO3 and Kevin Plus. This gasket plate mounted PCB and case is a nice aesthetic and an accessible price. $265. You'll have an options for a top HHKB when keyless or regular top with a plethora of colors, as well as an option for polycarbonate. The plate is available as a half plate, which is a solid win in my book. I like the experimentation with that flex cut in the PCB. As you can see on the PCB, between the that ASD and ZXC rows, there's a cut in the PCB to allow for some internal flex for the PCB itself. Those are going to be great for half plate builds for those who want to maximize the amount of flex they want to feel. The board will be running through KBD fans as a group buy, which is pretty cool. I like that AIO3 and Kevin Plus are still trying to fit more features. It's going to include 2 foam filler sheets that can be used to suppress vibrations and remove open space within the keyboard. I think this keyboard is going to be a smash hit for that price, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm thinking about possibly getting that to review. I think that'd be... Our next of many upcoming interest checks is by Tent Boy for GMK Pole Position. And before you start wondering, it's a motorsport theme set, not a dancing theme set. I know, Pole Position. One of the strongest features, if you're a fan, is the Ferrari red color and the yellow of the Ferrari logo. Tent Boy is playing around with the idea of 2 different ways to approach the legends, so if you have suggestions, a recommendation would probably help Tent Boy out a lot. Maybe it's just the quality and lighting of the renders. I'm not really feeling the set. I think I might need work. That red is very iconic. Looks great on a car. We'll see if it can transfer to a key set. Up next is Otanishock, who brings us the interest check for GMK First Love. Inspired by Otanishock's First Love, this dark purple set is honestly pretty nice looking with black and lighter lilac colors. I think some concern people may have is with the alphas and the contrast between the legends and the keycap. When you have purple and black, there are always concerns like that. It could work out. I think the novelties are very cute, and the renders are pretty decent. This reminds you of something else, but can't put my finger on what it does. I like it so far, though. Up next is the interest check for GMK Kaiju by Full Metal. Inspired by a genre of movies, this set features violet on gray alphas and green on black modifiers with some Hiragana sub-legends. To be honest, it reminds me much more of an Evangelion-inspired set as opposed to a Kaiju one with that particular purple and green. I like the idea of going icons all the way for the modifiers, and I think it works thematically in terms of when you think of a big robot like a Megazord going up against Godzilla. Yeah. An Evangelion theme rebrand would be really cool for it, and I think it has a lot of potential in that direction. Maybe something with that gray could be done, maybe a little bit darker, maybe a little lighter, maybe a little different. Last in the news is the interest check for GMK Gilded by GMITS. This is a royal purple set inspired by richly colored fabrics and expensive trimmings of Persian rugs and medieval tapestries. High contrast with warm purple modifiers and a golden touch might make this set a winner for many. I like the novelties. I like the idea of this set, to be honest. There are a lot of similarities, though, to the updated version of Shinzo's GMK White Knight set. So we'll have to see if any toes end up being stepped on, or if the directions are different enough, or if compromises have to be made. It's a discussion may have to occur between the 2 designers. Who knows? I like the darker purple and warmer purple of the sets. Curious to see where it goes, and curious to see if any changes will need to be made. So that's a future thing. Well, that's it for This Week in Keyboards. In addition to the sponsor of the episode, Kono.store, where you can check out the awesome group buys for SA Granite and SA Arcane, feel free to check out my other sponsors. I already talked about Kono.store. Great sponsor. Zeal PC and Novel Keys. We have some amazing switches available. Links down below. Hope you guys liked this video. If you liked it, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more keyboard content, subscribe and check out my other videos. The Witch Switch series is coming back pretty soon, and the season finale of the Cool Board is going to be on Wednesday, so I hope you guys can check that out live or check out the VOD in the following days. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.